So, you want to buy a shadow guide, but you're not sure, do you go 33 or 23? Well, hopefully this video can kind of help you make a decision. So let's go over the differences between the two of them. We'll use a tape measure to help me in this endeavor. So first of all, you're going to get the same build quality for both bags. Both bags are equally as well constructed as the other. The 33 isn't quote-unquote bulkier. It literally just is bigger. So first, we'll start with the top pocket. I'm going to measure. This top pocket is about 9.5 inches. This top pocket is about 9.5 inches. I'm measuring seam to seam here. So far, they look about equivalent there. So I would expect that, let's see, if we were to measure, so that's 9 and 9. Okay, so we have pretty much the same size top pockets. I'm going to measure zipper to zipper, probably at the midline, 9 inches. And, well, you know what? This one, let me just zip this up. Make sure this is as close as possible. It looks like the 33 might actually be slightly bigger, and I'm measuring midpoint to midpoint. So I see that these top pockets here, let's just measure depth from the top here. So that's about 4.5 inches to the top zipper. This one is the 23. It is about 4.25. So there is a small size difference between this top pocket and this top pocket. Functionally speaking, you can measure seam to seam here as well. That's 4.5 to the zipper, and then yeah, these top pockets definitely differ in size. It's not a big difference. It's probably not something that most people would notice, but there it is. So let's look at, of course, the features on both. Both bags include the edgeless straps, the fabulous edgeless straps that are great when you're carrying heavy loads. You can see that and it makes sense that the backs of these backpacks are different. They both feature the contoured kind of back pad that will allow your back to breathe better for extended carry sessions. But you can tell that these ones, the ridges are just a tiny bit narrower on the 23. So this one is about 9.5 inches, and then this one's about 11 inches for the breathable grid. But both feature these buckles here, waist straps, and a little bit of room here. Obviously, you don't sweat there as much. So let's measure top to top. I know you could probably get these measurements off the website, but you know what? I usually just do it myself anyway. So it's 15.5 on the 23, and then about 16.75. So if you're smaller in stature, this one might quote unquote fit on your back better. It just is. It comes down to personal taste. Some people who are taller still like smaller bags, and some people who are shorter like taller bags. It really is up to you. But there is definitely a noticeable height difference, which makes sense, right? Most of the 23 versus 33 is going to come out of the main compartment. So let's see, what else is there to compare? There's really, let's see, are the bags wider? So let's measure from here to here. Get my tape measure. So this is about 10 inches from this corner to this corner. And this is about 10 and roughly 3/4 of an inch from this corner to this corner. So this bag, the 33, is a little wider as you would expect. Internal laptop compartment. So this was a big deal for me. As I mentioned in my other video, I carry a 16-inch MacBook Pro. It says on the Tom Bihn website this cannot carry a 16-inch MacBook Pro. By all accounts, it can. And I don't think it puts a lot of pressure on the zippers, although Tom Bihn, again, I will say when they make a recommendation, it's usually for good reason. So your mileage may vary. I tend to I don't tend to abuse my bags, but I do tend to try to use them to their fullest potential. So for a pilot, for instance, it's not supposed to fit a 16-inch MacBook Pro, but I will carry one in there sometimes. So this one is definitely going to be a bigger pocket. Zipper to zipper, it is going to be about 18 inches. This one is going to be about 15.5. So there's definitely, if you have a big, bulky 15-inch laptop, not a MacBook Pro of any kind, but a big, bulky 15-inch laptop, you're going to have a better time fitting it in the 33 than you are the 23. So in terms of depth, and you can get all these stats, of course, on the website. Again, I just like to measure. 10, kind of like Alton Brown. He likes to weigh. I like to measure. Let's see. So this is about 9 and roughly a quarter. So there's definitely, obviously, a size difference between this and this. Would I trust one more than the other in terms of keeping my laptop safe? Not really. Both of them feature false bottoms, which is really important to me because I like my electronics to be protected. But the important thing was that they both can fit my MacBook Pro 16-inch MacBook Pro. And that's really, I think, the key difference between these two bags is, my opinion is like, and we'll measure the inside of the bag. My opinion is that this is a fine travel bag and EDC bag. This is a better EDC bag. Not as good of travel bag, depends on how long. It depends on a lot of things, right? It may work for you. When I went to Norway for about 8 days, I took a guides pack and was able to fit. It was a very tight fit. I took a guides pack, and then I would put a daylight backpack that I'd folded up and put in the pocket. I would fill it with all the goodies that I needed on the plane and put it under my seat. But I wouldn't probably try to stretch this into an 8-day bag. Personally, it wouldn't work for me. This one, it would work for me to do 8, 10, maybe even 2 weeks, depends on my access to laundry, really. So if I'm going to a client or I'm going to a coffee shop to work, I'm going to take this with me. I'm going to tend to take this with me versus this. This one is probably going to hang in my closet more, especially during these times where travel is kind of in short supply. This one's probably going to hang in my closet. You can see I haven't even taken the tag off. This one I took the tag off right away because I knew I was going to use it right away. As soon as I found out I was going to use it to go to Connecticut, I immediately took the tag off and filled it up. And this one, of course, it works. It's going to hold it's going to hold my wires in my handy little thing. And if I use the size 2 handy little thing, it's going to fit in there just fine as well. It might fit vertically back. But either way, that's going to work for that. It's going to fit my Bose headphones as I demonstrated in my other video. And of course, it still fits my Freudian slip. This is one for a Synapse 25. And this one, it does come to the top. It comes right to the top, so it does kind of have to fold in as you put it in. But it does work for this, and it fits it nicely. So, and I like that I like the Freudian slip because it keeps this stuff organized, this bulkier mobile office kind of stuff. So, let's measure real quick the depths of the bags from top to bottom. So this is and this is really not a scientific measurement. This is 16 inches on the 23. From top to bottom, this is going to be significantly taller. Well, not significantly taller, really. Actually, 17 and a half. So at the end of the day, I hope this video helps you decide. I'll sum it up. Really nice, more of an extended travel one-bag scenario. This one's sort of a shorter travel scenario, but it's also really good for EDC. I love the style of at the end of the day, I love the minimalist style of the shadow guide. In a big way. But this one is definitely going to get carried more, when we get to the point of going to offices again. So anyways, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and I'll do my best to answer them. Thanks.